Hey everyone. So to tie into my last video about electrical and power and all that stuff and different sources that we can get power from. Just a heads up, this is gonna be a long video, so skip now if you're not here for the long haul, or if, I don't care, do whatever you want. Um, so I guess what I'm seeing, which is frustrating to me, is like we have a president and an administration that says, "Make America great again. Let's do this. Let's rebuild our economy." But then is implementing things that are counterintuitive and counterproductive to, not even counterintuitive, just counterproductive to building a stronger economy. There have been contracts already laid and agreed on, signed, and moving of solar power projects and green energy projects or alternate energy. Don't get caught in the weeds with definitions. Just listen. Um, and those are being like just voided, like wiped away. Like, oh no, we're doing oil, drill baby drill. And the reason I say it's counterproductive is one, those were already agreements that everyone had done. They're like, hey, let's do this. And to throw that away, it's like, okay. Um, and then to subjugate yourself to just one like version of power production. It's like, oh, we're doing oil. And I pay attention to politics a lot more than I used to. And I go, gee, I wonder why we're doing oil when it's Trump. Could it have anything to do with the what is it called? The jobs, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 or whatever that he put in. Um, it gave oil tycoons and oil businesses and very wealthy people massive tax cuts. The Big Beautiful Bill is a reiteration of that. Literally on his campaign trail, if you pay attention to it, you can go find it. He was in a meeting with oil CEOs saying, like, I will get you your tax cuts back. Now, that's more of a push for oil conglomerates and oil companies than it is for America as a whole, which is part of the problem that I have with it. It's like you are cutting America out at the knees because you would rather benefit wealthy donors than America as a whole, as a country. In my mind, I would go for all of it. Just be like, hey, you know what? Let's do solar, let's do hydro, let's do nuclear, let's do fossil. There are different regions of our country because it is so massive where different energy sources will prevail because electricity, like batteries, don't do so well in the cold. So I would imagine, yes, you could still have battery powered cars in the northern states. I see it all the time. It's totally fine. But you would not want only battery powered. You want the option to be like, hey, you know what? I want to have a gas powered car or whatever. And then when it comes to, you know, like heavy equipment, like I said in my last video, or even like machines of war and stuff like that, you would probably want to keep diesel and not convert tanks over to batteries and not convert front end loaders and cranes and um, maybe you could do cranes if it's a lattice crane. I wonder. I'm not a crane operator, but because they're stationary. Anyways, so it's just this idea of like, hey, let's politicize stuff and make it more important about what side of the fence you're on and whose camp you're in, rather than like what would ultimately be best for our country as a whole, like regardless of political affiliation and regardless of like, I guess, corporate affiliation. Just like, hey, yeah, oil's important. It is. There's a lot of stuff that comes out of oil other than just fuel, but fuel is one of them and it is important. Um, and having a balanced measure between like our production of something and our consumption of things. Like we're an extremely consumeristic, it's called consumerism, country. And if we could kind of move away from that and produce more of our own consumed goods, we wouldn't be so vulnerable to trade fluctuations as well. Again, though, that might be ideal for depending on where you're looking at that, because vulnerable trade or trade that goes like this, like up and down, that is not so easy to uh, guarantee. Um, it has volatility to it. Would then, in some people's view, bring higher profits than a guaranteed like hey, delivery is always going to be there exactly at that. Will always be that. Yes, you will always get that profit if you've built it into the cost of everything, but you will lose the ability to one uh, public outcry that this needs fixing and reform because it dipped down, and so we got to fix it. And you got to send me money. I can fix it. I'm part of the supply chain. And two, um, reap those massive profits when it does spike up. I know I'm getting a little off track here because I'm talking about supply chains, but it's all connected. um, Going back to power, it's like, well, like why don't we produce more solar panels? Why don't we produce more, you know, oiled goods? Like, why don't we produce? I'm not a big fan of ethanol. I say cut ethanol, but that's a whole nother thing. Ethanol is a scam. Um, but then in I don't know. I guess to me it's simple. It's like produce it all, make it all, and it will fit in where it does best. I believe, anyways. You don't have to force it. Like, hey, force electric battery powered heavy equipment. What? Like, no, nobody wants that. Like, I mean, if you do, you're in the minority. Like, it's like the what are they? What's it called? Like power out, like the output or the like displacement, power displacement of like diesel is like way higher than um, battery powered stuff. Anyways, you can tell I'm not an expert and I'm not an engineer in this stuff, but to me, it makes more sense to just be like, hey, why don't we just build it out this way? Like instead of falling into camps and deciding, hey, we're gonna do this way because the red people are in charge and the blue people in charge will change it next time. And again, too, the thing that's counterproductive with this is that if you want a fair playing field, take away all the subsidies, take away all of them. If I don't think that should happen, because I do think properly like allocated subsidies are useful and beneficial in certain cases. But if you want it to be a fair playing field, then take away all the subsidies because the oil and gas companies they get subsidies as well. They'll tell you they don't because it works against their narrative because they love pointing out, look at all the subsidies that solar and wind get because it doesn't work. And it's like, well, one, it does work. It's been proven. It's getting better, and they do get subsidies just like you do. Like you're both subsidized industries. So I don't know. I mean, well, I do know. My opinion is that like let them compete. Stop changing every 4 to 8 years policy to benefit who's going to get you into the White House, who's going to make you president. How do we get that? Get money out of politics. Tale as old time. You've probably heard it from a million people. But one thing that could help with that is removal of what is it called? Citizens United. That would pull away the ability for corporations to fund um, their candidate, essentially, like who they want in the White House. I'm sure they'd find some other workaround because that's how it goes. It's constant, but it would at least help. But yeah, again, I mean, we're gonna have increasing power consumption because we have all these AI data centers that are being built. AI isn't producing any kind of product that is just like I don't know useful. I guess like it's not making this it's not making a like here you go like here is like you have generative AI can make text and images. I mean, you got video AI, but like it's not it's not producing the amount of investment into it is not producing like a product as like if I was like, hey man, let me start up a business, give me $10 million, and I will get you back your investment in 100 years. People be like, no, like I'm not doing that. It's like okay, well then give me $100 million, and I'll get your investment back in like 50 years. People be like no, like I'm not gonna do that one. So that's how I'm seeing AI, and especially in America, we're diverting a lot of resources and a lot of focus and attention to AI when the whole premise was like bring back manufacturing, bring back like real productive jobs that produce a good. And instead, bro, it's like, well, what about this AI thing over here? It's like we can't break the habit.